It will go on YouTube, but only available to our students, if that's okay. All right. So first of, I guess I'll stay over here. So first of all, thank you everyone for being here today. We are expecting a couple of our students as they roll in, but all our key speakers are here. So first off, I wanted to introduce myself. My name is Erin Manalo. I'm the program coordinator for the Allied Health Academy, which is this wonderful new program that we have here at Cal State Fullerton, where we're trying to connect the pipeline all the way from high school through to graduate school for our students in the Orange County area. So specifically, our funder, HRSA, identified the need for first-generation low-income students to receive extra assistance with regard to workforce development. And so that's why Dr. Tandasiri, the co-program director on this grant, wrote this grant and connected with all of your wonderful grad programs. So this is the very first time that we're hosting a admissions panel. So as far as our linkage partners are concerned, we have four amazing folks here, or four amazing programs here at Cal State Fullerton. So we have the Masters in Public Health, which will today be represented by Dr. Jasmeet Gill. We also have the Masters in Communicative Disorders, today represented by both Dr. Hik Sung and Dr. Jing Chow. We have the Masters in Social Work represented by Kelly Segovia, and the Masters in Counseling represented by David Shepard. Dr. David Shepard.
It's probably true for all of us.
All right, so who we have here today are a group of our students. So these are vetted through our program. They are engaging this year in 120 hours of activities that we've deemed helpful for their preparation for graduate school. So this includes attending panels like this, so they're informed of all the processes, but they're also receiving support from us, whether it's developing their personal statement, assistance with financial assistance to take the Cal State Fullerton GRE test prep course, exposure to guest speakers so they can learn more about these different fields that they're engaged in or that they're interested in, so that they can find the proper fit for them. Additionally, some of them have done internships with us to solidify their interest and experience in the field. And what else? Also just developing a sense of community, so they have other folks to turn to for questions and support and things like that. So they are in the process of being very well prepared, so that once we hand them off to you, they will be hopefully some of your favorite students. Definitely some of mine. And so without further ado, I'll go ahead and, are you guys more comfortable sitting in those chairs until it's your time to start?
Yeah.
Okay. And then we'll just call you up at the end for the Q&A portion. So right now I just did the welcome. We'll have each of our linkage partners talk for about 10 minutes about their respective programs. After that, we'll have some time for Q&A. So this is your opportunity to ask your specific questions. It's very rare that we have an opportunity to have all of our linkage partners together in one room and to have this ratio of admissions folks to you as students. And then I'll end it with some announcements. And again, remember to sign in and sign out and fill out the evaluation by the end before you leave. Okay, awesome. So, and does everyone have one of these handouts as well? This has everyone's contact information. I hope this is okay because it's all online anyways. And so without further ado, I guess we'll get started with Dr. Ying Chow Sao. Awesome.
Okay. Hi everyone. I'm the graduate advisors at Human Communication Study Communicative Disorder Programs. I'm a little bit new. I'm not quite sure today. I was following the instructions in terms of giving an overview of the program. So I probably won't go through my PowerPoint because a lot of, the first few slides is introducing what is a CD, and what's the job.
I think that's helpful.
I'm not sure because I heard how many students actually is already in the CD major. Okay, quite a few. So yeah, that was my impression that to overview the program. So I went to the kind of introduction on that. So Barry just touch on the
I think you
application.
can still
Right now, I
mention-
see the title. I apologize. It's a successful applicant workshop. So I'm just going to kind of go with the flow. Maybe give you a little bit brief summaries of what is needed to be a successful applicant to the CD programs that are communicative disorders programs. Okay, the basic, one thing important to meet the basic requirements that in order for you to apply, you need to have that ACD prerequisite plus 1 statistic class. So it's important in order for you to qualify to apply for that. It was probably don't, it's confusing people more. Okay, so don't play this. Okay, so that's very important for you to have that, take all the CD, and by the time of the applying, typically our deadline is February 1st of every year. February 1st of every year, you need to have already have a CD prerequisite class with the grade at hand, okay? Then 1 statistic class. So if you need to include in the 4th semester of the grade, you are responsible to make sure that grade is posted on the CCAS. That is our online application process. Okay, another thing you need to apply also is the CSU mentor, which is going to be changed, I know, next year. After next May, you are going to have something else online. But for now, you need to know one thing, you need to apply to the campus, okay? The other thing, you need to apply to the online communicative disorders application process. If you apply for one, you can click on many. So it's very important you try to look for the school that is fitting to also your GPA range. That's one thing. You know, each school have a different GPA. You can look for it. If you really want to come here for sure, good GPA standing is so important. For the past 10 years, our cutoff is pretty much is at the 3.7. Okay, with the average of 3.9 around that. So GPA is important, but it's not everything. So important is that you need to interact with the professor because you do need to have very strong letter of recommendations. Okay, you want to interact, you know, starting the day one when you taking the classes, no matter it's about subject matter or that you need advisement, go to the office hours because the more we know you, the better we know how to help you, how to write a letter. A lot of time I heard that the faculty were really troubled with that I don't know these students. So that's, in that way, people can only write you a generic letter. So it's so important, try to get involved, you know, interact with the faculty, get involved also, in addition to the class, maybe there's a research project. Okay, or the niche that you can also know, that's the student clubs. Okay, so those are activities very important to volunteers in the field that is related to the speech language pathology. That's very important. And a lot of times students ask me, is this side okay, better than the other side? It's not about that. And it's not about one or two. It's about what did you get from your volunteer learning experience. And that will convert into your letter of intent. What would you write? Personal statement. Okay, we want to know you. We want to get to know you. Tell us, you know, that who you are, how you come to this field. That's a story. Keep it short. But more important is what's your aspiration. Through the learning process, what, you know, inspired you and what you were thinking about that you would do from now. Those are something so important. So get involved with the research project or any activity that will provide it to you on campus. Interact with the faculties so that we would really give you a very strong support when you come to the point, either you apply here or somewhere else. It's kind of weird, you know. We want to say why here, right? In this program, yes, we are very strong programs. We have very good reputation. We admit 28 students each year, but we had close to 500. Last year hit the first time 500. voluntary applications. So that's you really need to kind of stand out than just doing basic. Okay. What else did I miss? Maybe you can make it up.
Okay, so I may repeat some of her point. I will share. I made a brief handout if anybody wanted.
Okay, for our program, we don't require GRE. That's one thing. If you are not sure, we don't require GRE. Yes, just for your information.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you two things. Selecting the program you are going to apply to, and then application process. So when you select the programs you wanted to study, you may select the programs in California or outside of California. I strongly encourage our students to go out of state because each state is so different. And you may come back to California after your master's degree, but if you can afford to go to other state, try other state as well. Once you identify the programs you want to apply, review their information online. So when you are reviewing any of the graduate programs you are going to apply to, I would look at how many full-time faculty each program has. How many part-time faculty do they have? What are the areas of faculty expertise? Any research project they are doing? Any publications made by faculty? Those are some of the things I will pay attention to. And when you look at the information online, be mindful. Some programs are more up to date than other programs. Sometimes you may see the program that looks great online, but when you visit the program, there might be some discrepancies. So if you can visit each program you identify you wanted to apply, you may contact the department and visit the program, meet with the student who are completing the program, and also meet with the faculty, get a sense about the program you wanted to study. I like tables and figures personally. So I advise my student, once you know which school you are going to apply to, then create a table. So first column, perhaps the name of the school you're applying. Second column, what are the requirements of each program? There are some standard application requirements, including letter of intent, 3 letters of recommendation. What else? So those are the common requirements. And I will have third column deadlines. So then once I have the summary table, I will go by with it and prepare steps. So that's the general ideas about selecting the graduate program. When you are applying to graduate program, read the instruction carefully. Each school requires different things. So each school may have a different prompt for your letter of intent and word limits, total limits. We have to pay attention to those details, otherwise you may be disqualified if you don't. And letter of intent, I will use the cooking analogy because that's what I do as a hobby. I can only make good dish when I have good fresh ingredients. So your volunteer experience is going to be your ingredient to make the best dish, which is going to be your letter of intent. So your letter of intent, think about graduate committee who reads several hundred applications. If your letter is bland as anybody else's, it will not stand out. Somehow you need to write your letter of intent that will stand out to catch graduate committee's attention. Wow, look at this student. I want her to come to my program. So that's the mindset when you write your letter of intent. Then have other people to review your letter of intent. Ask them, read it carefully as if they are graduate committee. If you are graduate committee, if you read my letter of intent, does this convince you to select me for your graduate? Then get their feedback, revise. The more you revise, the better your writing will be. Okay? So I will have a couple other people read and give you objective, critical feedback. Then I will continue to revise. Okay, that's all I'm going to share. And letter of recommendation, I have seen many students who come to my office during their final semester when they are applying to graduate school. as Cal State LA. And because we have 10 tenure track faculty, each faculty covers all of their expert areas. Faculty who has expertise in autism, alternative augmentative communication, Dr. Sao covers fluency, voice disorder, acquired language disorder, neurogenic disorder, Parkinson disorder, what am I missing? Cultural linguistic diversity, and child phonology. So all those expert areas are covered by our full-time faculty.
Okay, just one final words. I know that may be a little bit mathematical. Yes, 3.7 is pretty high. Okay, but good news is our program, you are already in the program, that you are well prepared. A lot of time I have a student come back, email me, whatever, say that you guys well prepared us. Even though student were not admitted here with under even though 3.5, I tell you, University of Hawaii, they want our student. We came to recruit our student. So that's a good news, that you are well prepared.
Thank you. And if you have any questions about the common disorders program, save them for the end. We'll move to the general Q&A. All right. So our next representative is Dr. Jasmine Gill from the Masters of Public Health. No slides today.
No, that's okay. We don't need slides, right?
Yes.
Okay, but I will put a few things on the board in case you're taking notes. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for coming here. Our Master of Public Health program is the first accredited Master of Public Health program in Orange County. And we have 3 concentrations in our program, which you should be aware of. So in general public health, the field of public health has 5 tracks. So there's epidemiology, there's biostatistics, there is health promotion, environmental and occupational health and safety, EOHS. And then the last one is sometimes called health policy or management. So I would encourage any student who's interested in the Master of Public Health to do some research, online research, to understand how these tracks differ and what your interests are. Here at Cal State Fullerton, we have a health promotion disease prevention track. We also have an environmental occupational health and safety track, and a little bit less traditional public health track of gerontology. We also have. So this is not the traditional 5, but it is within the field of public health. So those are our 3 tracks. So in other words, if you are interested in doing a biostatistics track, our program would not be appropriate. However, if you're interested in health promotion and disease prevention, this would be how to get people to stop smoking, how to get diabetics to take medication, how to get a high-risk community to engage in physical activity and a healthy diet. A lot of behavior change theory. Environmental occupational health and safety that we have is about workplace safety, water safety, air pollution, things like that. And sometimes ergonomics things, other things that are just at a desk, not necessarily a hard hat type of work safety. And then gerontology, this is a study of older people. So this is health effects, quality of life, things like that that affect people as they age. We do have a GRE requirement in our program. So we require 2 letters of recommendation. We have a GRE. There's no minimum score for a GRE. And the GRE is used more as a secondary evaluation measure. So what we evaluate people on in the sort of the first screening primary is the GPA, the letters of recommendation, work experience in public health or volunteer experience, and then last is the statement of purpose. So those are the 4 things that we focus on most. Every applicant that applies gets seen by 2 different professors, sometimes 3. People evaluate and read through all of those things. If we have students where we need just a little more information to make a better decision about them, if they'd be a good fit, then we look at things like GRE. So we've never rejected somebody if they're fabulous in everything else, but they just didn't have a good GRE. So there is no minimum that way. We have between 120 to 150 students apply every year, and we offer admission to about 30, between 25 and 30 come in every year. The strength of our program is that although we only have a few tracks, it's a small program. So people come in, they're only admitted once a year. We don't have any winter admits. People come in the fall, and it's a cohort structure. So you take all your core classes with the same 25 to 30 students. And so you get to form really deep friendships, professional connections with that group. We do require summer courses between the first and second year. It's a 2-year program, and you have to take 2 required courses over the summer to graduate within that 2-year time frame. And those courses are not offered at any other time except for in the summer. So if you don't do them the first year summer, you can take them the second year summer, but they're only offered in the summer. What else? So GRE, I went over GPA. The minimum GPA requirement is 2.7. Most of the people who are offered letters are in the B range, 3 to 3.3. That's where people come in. We really emphasize people with work experience. We're tailored towards working professionals. So our classes start, the core classes start 4 p.m. and after. So that's a unique thing about our program too, besides the cohort admissions. So you see Irvine has an MPH program, but they're not geared towards working professionals like we are, for example. Other questions? Our deadline is January 29th, 2017. There's a CSU mentor application, and there's another separate application just for health science, and that's on our webpage. We have an informational session on November 5th here on campus, and that's also on our webpage, the location and time.
What information do you go over in that informational session?
Maybe just more in depth of what we're talking about today. We'll have a current student come in and have time for Q&A. And we'll show you where our graduate student lounge is and things like that. The chair of the department usually shows up for that too. Any questions of the program? Anything that I didn't cover?
I think that was the gist, but could you, just for the sake of everyone in the room, re-clarify what public health is? I know as someone in public health, a lot of times people don't know what that is.
Yeah, so public health is a really broad field, and I would say that there's overlap with many other disciplines across campus. So public health is the field of promoting good health in populations. So we don't do clinical work. So clinical work would be a PT or an OT or an MD, a nurse practitioner working one-on-one with people. That's not what we do. Public health is about groups of people and how to improve health in those groups. So we look at disparities by race, ethnicity. We look at disparities by income, structural access to care issues. And that's why knowing the track is so vital, because these tracks really focus in on different aspects of public health. Does that help a little bit? So a lot of people coming into our program, some of them have undergraduate degrees in science like biochemistry. Some of them have an actual health science degree. Some of the CSUs have health science degrees now, or chemistry or other hard science degrees. Sometimes people come in with anthropology, sociology. I think someone from Communicative Disorders actually contacted me just a couple weeks ago. So we accept a broad range of students. We like to see them have at least either an epidemiology undergraduate class or a stats or a research methods class. So either one of those sets you up for success in our program.
Thank you. So we'll have time for more questions
Great.
at the end. But thank you, that was very informative. Now we will shift over to, okay, doctor?
No, I have my LCSW, but no, I'm not a doctor.
All right, Kelly Segovia with the Masters of Social Work. Yay.
Hi, everyone. I don't know how many of you might be interested in social work or have considered it, but I brought a handout regarding what you can do with Masters of Social Work. The degree itself is very diverse in what you're able to do, so it brings a lot of different, I know some people think welfare, child welfare, that's all I can do with MSW degree, and that's just not true. There's so many things where we find social workers these days in very different places, in clinical settings, in schools, in hospitals, a lot of public agencies. So it's very diverse if you're interested. Tell you a little bit about the program. As far as why a master's of social work here at Cal State Fullerton, one important factor is we're an accredited school, and that becomes very important when you get your MSW if you want to go on and get licensed in the field. You need to accrue hours once you've gotten your master's degree, but you want to come from an accredited school because then you're eligible for that license. We are actually the only public university in Orange County that offers the MSW, so that kind of makes us a little bit more competitive in this area. We also kind of have the corner market on field agencies and placements in this area. And we have actually this year in particular, we had more agencies than we had students to place, which was great because it just shows for the students who are applying, we have a lot of agencies out there who are wanting to work with our students and provide them field placement experiences. We have a highly dedicated faculty and staff. The program has been in existence here for about 8 years, and we have some of the same professors on staff since the inception of the program, which brings, some continuity to the program, but we also have some new professors as well who bring in new ideas in supporting our students too. I mentioned the fieldwork sites. We have individualized academic advising for all our students. So when our students come into the program, they're assigned an academic advisor, and that same advisor follows them throughout their time in the program. So that's kind of a point person that they can go to ongoing while they're in the program. We offer 2 different programs actually. On the Cal State Fullerton campus, we offer a 2-year or full-time program, and then we have a satellite program at the Irvine campus, and that's our flex program, and that's a 3-year program. The mission of our program is to educate committed professionals for direct social work practice with vulnerable children and families and underserved, severely mentally ill individuals with special sensitivity to the multicultural populations of Orange County and Southern California regions. We have 3 different concentrations within our program. We have child welfare, we have community mental health, and the aging concentration. So the full-time program, I mentioned it's a 2-year program and it's here at the Fullerton campus. Students take classes 2 days a week here on campus, and then they have 2 full days of placement. So it's a pretty full schedule that you're carrying. The classes are guaranteed, which I know is a little different than from some of the undergraduate classes that you've experienced here on campus. The Flex program is a 3-year program, like I stated before. The classes meet Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday evenings at our Irvine location. And what this allows is for those students who want to work some while they're getting their graduate degree, it offers a little bit more flexibility to do that because the classes are in the evening. The first year you don't have field placement, you actually start that your second year. So it does allow a little bit more flexibility, but it does get more complicated once you start the field placement because that is still a requirement of the program for the last 2 years of the program. This is the curriculum content. Let's just take a look at that for a second. I'll read through all of it. There's 5 classes that you take each semester in the full-time program. At the in the flex program, you take 3 classes per semester, but there are summer classes as well. The admissions criteria. So we do only have fall admissions. Our application opens October 1st of this year and will run through the end of January. We'll stop taking applicants. Bachelor's degree is required. A minimum GPA of 3.0. But I will tell you that we have a very high number of applicants. We have about 500 a year. And of those, we accept about 85 into the full-time program and around 30 into the flex program. So it does get competitive. We don't require the GRE, it's optional. So if you take it, if you're taking it for another program that you're applying for, you do well on it, by all means include those scores, but if you don't take it, you already have a strong GPA, it's okay, you don't need to take it for our program. We do require 3 letters of recommendation from professors on campus. So like one of the other professors stressed already with their program, the more you know your professors and you can make those connections, the better off you're going to be when it comes time to asking for a letter of recommendation. But we also ask for letters from professionals who you've worked for before, so supervisors or directors at agencies. We also look for your volunteer internship experience as it relates to social work. A personal statement, and we will, once we've gone through all the applications, for those that we feel are strong, we will pull those applicants in for an interview as well. So how to apply. So again, the deadline is January 31st. We also have 2 applications. We have one to the university through CSU Mentor, and we have the other through our departmental application. So we really strongly encourage you to read through all the application requirements. You'll find, the university wants transcripts. We also want a copy of your transcripts. So it's really important to pay attention to those details so that you're hitting all the requirements and getting everything that's needed in, because nothing breaks my heart more to have a student call and say, but I sent my transcripts in and we never received them. They were sent to the university, but they weren't sent to us. So the application reads as it's not complete. So just make sure that you're really paying attention to those. Okay. Okay, thank you.
All right, so last but definitely not least, Dr. David Shepherd from counseling.
So before I start, so I can orient my brief talk to your needs, how many people here are interested in becoming counselors and psychotherapists?
We did have a couple folks RSVP who were interested in it, and also we are recording it, so some of the folks who might be in classes right now would still love to hear the information.
Okay. Let me just get on to the computers for a second. Just go right to the university website. Okay. So I'll be speaking to the laptop as well. So the Department of Counseling is designed specifically for one goal. We train people to be eligible for licensure as psychotherapists in the state of California or around the country. A handful of our students who really want to pursue a doctoral degree do that, and we're delighted when they do that, and we really help them with that. But the majority of our students, and we take about 60 a year, their primary goal is when they graduate, that they go on for an internship, they get necessary internship hours, and that makes them eligible in the state of California for 2 possible licenses, and most students opt for both. One, as a licensed marriage and family therapist, and the second is what's called a licensed professional clinical counselor, which is a relatively new degree in the state of California. Both essentially give you a license in being a practitioner in counseling and psychotherapy, which could mean everything from working with kids from every age level, with college students, with families, with couples counseling, with the aging, with adults ranging from severe mental health issues to just struggling with the challenges of life, where it just really helps to talk to somebody. What makes our program, I think, special is a couple of things. One of which is we are the model counseling program in the state of California. What I mean by that is that a license in the state of California is given to people by an organization called the Board of Behavioral Science. And they are a state agency, and they authorize schools to be eligible as good enough to train people. They look to our department as the model for every program in the state to follow as an ideal counselor preparation program. And one of the reasons for that is the chair of our department is on the board of behavioral science, and therefore we do everything first as a kind of a model that we send to them, and we work with them, and then when they're really happy with our curriculum, then they decide, hey, that's the way it should be done. The other thing that we offer is because we have 2 degrees, and our students all go with both, a licensed professional clinical counselor, I know these acronyms can get confusing, is also recognized in most states. So it means it's easier for students who wish to go to a different state to work because they have a license that's recognized throughout the country. Well, I want to show you a little bit in terms of how you make a decision about what program to go to. So I went to our homepage, and I want you to take a look. You can take I want you to take a look at the picture of the faculty. Right, it's a little old. You can tell because I'm wearing glasses. I don't need them anymore. But what you see is a faculty that really likes each other. And anyone who's an academic or a professor knows that the culture of the department has a huge impact on the feeling of being a student in that program. So when you have we have faculty been together for like 13, 14 years, the same faculty. We know each other. We go to retreats together. We party together in very, very safe ways, the one I'll show you. And that spirit of collegiality and extends to the way we think about our students. We want them to share in our joy in doing what we do. All of us are clinicians as well as professors. All of us are tenured. Most of us are full professors. So we're good at what we do, but we also love actually being in the field and doing what we do. And this makes a huge difference because what it says to students who come to our classes is that they know the faculty is really current in what's going on in the field. It's not just in what they learned at graduate school. They also know that when the faculty are talking about their own clinical experiences, they're drawn from real life. And this is what it really means with the life of the counselor and the psychotherapist. So you always kind of want to try to look at a website and get a feel for, is this the kind of place that I want to be a part of and spend 3 years at, or 4, 2.5, or whatever. We are a flexible program, so you can go anywhere from, realistically, it's about 3 years. Some students take longer, depends on whether you have a job and how many hours you want to work. Like everyone else, I think we talk. It's a 2-component application process. One, CSU Mentor. The other is to the online departmental application. We do not require GREs, and even if people have them, we won't use them to send them, because we don't want to give unequal treatment to different faculty, different students, although it is tremendously helpful information. Still, it's just a departmental policy. Couple things about applying to any graduate program, and some of this has been brought up by my colleagues. Know the website. know why you want this program, right? And know why you want this field. We recognize that our applicants get about 400 for about 60 positions. We recognize that our applicants are applying to many schools, right? We want to know, why do you want us? And we know that based on that you've read our materials, that you've read our website, that you've thought about, this is what I want to do, this is where I want to be. You've read the faculty bios and said, oh yeah, I like this person's research. This is the kind of person I want to be working with. This makes a huge difference in the satisfaction that you'll get from the experience. So be able to say, here's why I want to come here. We know in reality, you might want to come here because it's economically and geographically convenient. But the reality is, you're competing with students from all over the country. So have a good reason for coming here. Secondly, the personal statement is a huge aspect of the application. It's true that GREs are really important, and like my colleagues, we are highly competitive programs, so people who do get in tend to have GPAs of around 3.6, 3.7. But minimum of 3.0, but you still, it's competitive. So, but the most important aspect is, does your personal statement reflect the kind of person that we feel will be a good fit for our department and a good fit for the field? What we emphasize in our department is self-awareness, first and foremost, sensitivity to different cultures, right? The ability to be honest with yourself, but not so honest that you tell us that that's too much information, but honest enough that we get to know you. And when it says, write a 1,500 to 3,000 word personal statement, write a 3,000 word personal statement, right? You're competing with a lot of people. The more work and effort and seriousness we see in your application, the more we know you are a serious student. And that's really important to us. When you get letters of recommendation, I fully support what everyone else said. Get to know faculty so they can really write good letters. We can everyone on the admissions committee knows the difference between a boilerplate, meaning a generic letter with your name stuck in and your grade stuck in, right? Versus someone who says, I think this person is great, right? I enthusiastically recommend this person. You want a faculty who will be able to say, I give the highest recommendation to this student. We also understand that sometimes it's hard to get 3 letters of recommendation, but don't get them from people who are like your pastors or your friends or your family, because they all have conflicts of interest, and we just ignore them. Right? And that's true for every apply. Get people who have a professional credibility and who are objective and say, honestly, I have some reservations. Right? That's actually more helpful than someone who, we have no idea who this person is. Right? Know the admissions procedure extremely well. So when you look at this, right, this tells you what to do. We have a prospective student advisor. Her job is to help guide you through it, right? So don't hesitate to use that person. Her name is Gina Marie Schertzy. All the information how to reach her is here. But what's important is that you get it right, that you understand what we are looking for, and that you do ultimately the best job possible. Any final comments I want to make? Some people wonder, should I apply to an MSW program or a counseling program? Because there really are overlaps. And there are differences. So one of the strongest overlaps is both ultimately lead you to post-graduation possibilities for getting a license in the practice of psychotherapy. In social work, it's a license, it's called a licensed clinical social worker. In counseling, it's a licensed professional clinical counselor or a licensed marriage and family therapist. So ultimately, and I know this from personal experience, 5 years from now, you could be in a room and everyone's a therapist and you have no idea what their degree is in. But there also are differences, one of which is social work is stronger preparing you for administrative decisions, right? And stronger preparing you for understanding the relationship of public policy to the needs of providing services to those who are most vulnerable in our community. Where if you look at counseling, we'll just look at the curriculum, you can see that everything here is about how to do psychotherapy, right? Pre-practicum, that means basic counseling skills, modes of individual counseling, all different theories, how to do short treatment, how to assess, how to diagnose, child and adolescent counseling, psychopharmacology, this is family therapy, group therapy, addiction therapy, couples therapy, right? Crisis intervention. So people who come to our program are people who, this is what they want to immerse themselves in. And so we're ultimately down the road, there are many different paths to being a really excellent counselor in psychotherapy, and social work is an excellent path. People who come to our program want to spend their 3.5 years immersed in just training how to do this kind of thing. I think with that, Paul?
Thank you so much. Can we have all of our panelists take a seat in the front? So hopefully that was helpful. This may or may not be the first time you've gotten this depth of how to navigate the application process. A lot of great tips about, really differentiating yourself. You can see already the variety of, in just these 4 programs, what they really emphasize. Like, oh, is the GRE really that big of a deal? Doesn't seem like it in this respect, right? But also some of the programs that you might be applying to elsewhere, they might have more emphasis on that. I'll stop talking now, and hopefully you guys have at least a couple of questions. If you don't, I'll have some questions for you, but just wanted to open up the floor. Does anyone have an initial question that they want to Naomi? Go ahead, Naomi.
I have a question in regards to communicative disorders. So most of my volunteer experience has been working with children, since it's hard as an undergrad to have any experience with adults. Although I've had heard of BRAIN, which is something that I want to volunteer for. But I'm interested in voice rehabilitation and voice disorders, especially with like stroke patients and Parkinson's disease. And I have research faculty that focus in the programs. But how do I relate my volunteer experience with children and trying to say, like, I'm really interested in working with someone that has had a stroke or Parkinson's disease, but yet my work has been done with children, which is more what I've had opportunities for.
I always advise a student, our master's program is train you as a generalist. So in graduate school, you will have classes for children, you will have classes for adults. And for the practicum also, you will have 1 semester child clinic, adult clinic, then you will go out to public school setting, then you will do medical setting. So you will have all those experiences. At the end of your master's degree, you will do 9-month full-time clinical fellowship year. Some individuals identify specialty areas. For example, if you're interested in voice disorder, you happen to be at the medical setting, voice clinic with ENT collaboration. You got training on instrumentation assessment, and you happen to have a CFI position at the voice clinic, then you will follow that path. But most of the people will end up as a journalist. So in your situation, to apply to graduate school, if you can have different volunteers, child and adult, that would be great, and you don't have to have it. And another possibility of if you still wanted to add adult experience, St. Jude Hospital has stroke recovery group. Many of our students volunteer there, so that's another possibility for you to look into.
I would address your question on this. Actually, as a graduate advisor, if I'm reading the letter of recommendations, I put a letter of intent. I would like to know why you're interested in voice. Even though you did not at the time, right? You did not, or you experienced in child, but I'd like to know what prompts you to be interested in voice. And I'd like to hear more on that.
Okay.
So will you be able to share on that? Then that's what, it's important. As Dr. Sun just said, we are pretty much generalists to train everyone at this level. But if you have any specific interest area and what prompts you, that's something actually I would like to know more about it. It's kind of nice that you have some sense other than just in general I like it, but I also interested in it, and that I would be interested to know.
And then they change. I have seen graduates when take voice seminar, then they come to me, oh, I love voice disorders. And next semester they took swallowing disorder, come back, same thing. Oh, I'm very interested in swallowing disorder. So that's the given nature. As you learn more about different disorders, you begin to like those knowledge.
Do any of the panelists want to add any thoughts? Kind of taking Nayeli's experience and making it more general for other students. Let's say that the only thing that they've had access to is, certain opportunities, but what they're really interested in is something else. Would you recommend anything else for them to kind of connect those pieces in their application?
Well, I like what the professor said as far as just letting us know what, why they're interested maybe with a particular population, where that passion comes from, so we can learn a little bit more about that.
It could have been because you are a singer, right?
Yeah.
With a music, music background. It could have been that in one instance, those are things it's critical for us to know, meaning that you might have some kind of other in additional things that to add to the program.
I just had a question for communicative disorders. Say you have really strong letter of intent, really strong personal statement, but your GPA is like a 3.65, like just below the cutoff. Would you, I'm not going to say throw out the application, but would you take that into consideration with everything else being strong, but the GPA not being at the cutoff point of 3.7? Is there like any way around that, or is the GPA pretty much set in stone?
If you are here on campus, you may have that, probably second round we will be considered. If we are known to, many of faculty, we know that your work, everything in the classroom, everything that you might be considered on the second round. But in the first round, we have a cutoff because we have so many, and we have some way we have to cut it off. Now, but then when we come to the second round, that we consider people in the same range. And then, in particular, the student we know, right? And then versus the student we don't know, then you probably have a little bit footage on that.
Okay.
Yeah, and then letter of recommendation and letter of intent, actually, I think it's very important for the professor who write a letter to echo for what you're trying to say. So as Dr. Sun said, that do not just asking for a letter a month, a few weeks, or final weeks, people are very busy. You probably really take time to interact, pay a visit, or at least give an update what I have been, since I took your class. Okay, because the more we know about you, it's something you talk about that it could be echoed by the professor, and that's very important.
For the rest of the
That show the consistency.
For the rest of the panelists, are you similar in terms of the first round is based off of GPA? Or as long as they meet that minimum 3.0 or 2.7, then you kind of look at the whole spectrum.
We don't do cutoffs. We don't, unless there's a minimum, I think our 2.7, if you're under that, for sure. But we value work experience, and writing is really important too. So a strong statement, a lot of the things that you've heard from the other panelists are true for, I think, just about any graduate program. You want to have good, strong letters. Your statement of purpose shouldn't be generic, like, oh, I want to help people. That doesn't help us to understand why you want to be here. So if you're weak in one area, like GPA, for example, but we see a trend, junior, senior grades, last 2 years are, better, or you did really well in your methods and stats class or something, that's going to help. Statement of purpose, great letters. Yeah, it's a complete package for us.
Yeah, we have a cutoff of 3.0, and under that we won't look. And everyone else is looked at and then ranked. It just, we happen to know what's the average GPA of those who tend to make it, and it's high. But every application above 3.0 is given full consideration, because sometimes there are a lot of extenuating circumstances. For example, a learning disability, where the GPA is not that high, but this person has perseverance and clear ability, or they've been in the workforce for a few years and their voluntary experience has been great, or something about them just says, this person, personal statement, they're a standout. They bring something unique and interesting and add diversity to the student body. So we really do look at the whole application.
Shall I add one more thing to your question? With the use of CSUF, several students click on multiple schools and apply, because it only takes one application on your part, and people who are writing letter of recommendation on their behalf just submit one letter, goes to whatever the school they are applying to. Therefore, when we make a decision, it's quite often one student got multiple offers. They can only attend one graduate school. So oftentimes we made an offer to our best top choice, then they turn us down. Then we go down on the list. So in those circumstances, let's say our cutoff was 3.7, then we may go down the list, what's on the rank, right below the cutoff rank, and we do those.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name. Counseling?
David?
David. What is the average GPA? You said it's high, but I don't know what it is.
The average GPA of people who accept it?
Mm-hmm.
Usually 3.6 or 3.7.
Okay. And with yours, it's 3 years, right?
We used to call it 2.5 years minimum,
Mm-hmm.
but we've discovered that it's just too much pressure to be when you're in the field work
Mm-hmm.
part of it, you're adding 20 hours a week in the community mental health. That 3 years is more realistic, so you can really savor the experience of being out in the field.
So that does count the community service or the hours that we need to do? The 3 years?
Yes.
So we don't go do the 2 years afterwards, or?
Oh, no, you definitely do. You need
Okay,
3,000 hours.
so we do it during and after?
Yeah, and what you do before is just a drop in the bucket compared to what you do after.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions at this time? So with most of with all of our students being first generation college students from a certain income background, in the Allied Health Academy, we view them as having very strong strengths and assets given the things that they've gone through. Is it appropriate for them to discuss those types of strengths, the resilience that they've had in applying? How would you kind of look at someone differently who has that kind of a background?
I can speak up for counseling. A very significant number of our students come from underserved, underrepresented, and often very challenging backgrounds. And this faculty committee, the admissions committee, looks strongly at resilience. We know from experience that resilience is a good predictor of success. We also know that those people, because you're going out into the field, serving many people who come from backgrounds like yourselves, you're going to have a particular degree of compassion and empathy. And will make you an outstanding counselor.
I would echo that too. That the statement of purpose is the time for the opportunity for the student to explain in circumstances like that. Yeah. Resilience is, I agree, great predictors.
Okay, so with that, we are at 3 o'clock, so if you could give a round of applause for our panelists. Providing all that information. I'm sure the students here enjoyed it, and additional folks who were not in the room at the time but will watch this later are indebted to you for all this wonderful knowledge that you've shared. Your contact information has been made available to them, so they might be reaching out to you, or if you can direct them to the appropriate person if there's someone else to kind of walk them through the application process. Students, please fill out the evaluation that you have in front of you. And oh, just a reminder, hopefully all of you have the Grad School Expo handout from the Career Center. These count towards your hours, so please attend. There won't be another one quite like this, but they'll help you with the rest of the application. So thank you, everyone, very much.
Oh,
Nice to meet you.
So are you on the deciding already?
Yes.